Happy 420. I'm Kai.
And I'm Queen Reefer.
And you're watching
Stone Cold Murder.
Just a PSA, if you have any information to help solve a crime, you can go to crimestoppers.com to report any information anonymously.
This podcast contains material that might not be suitable for all audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
Welcome back to Stone Cold Murder, Season 4, Episode 4. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm great.
Great?
I'm great.
Yeah?
I have some treats for us, actually. I went to a Japanese market and I got us all some drinks and some snacks.
So excited.
I don't know if we want to try it now or if we want to wait a little bit. Might as well try it now, right?
Yeah.
Since we're already kind of
I think so too.
talking. Okay. All right, guys. We got potato chips with like lobster seasoning. My chat picked it out. And then we have matcha, tea, and milk candy. And then we have brown sugar and rich milk. Ooh, slay. And then we each have our own flavor of little drink. So I have blue Hawaii. What do you have?
I have strawberry.
Matt has blueberry. And Danny has orange.
Ooh.
Cheers.
First taste. Cheers.
I like the little ball.
I also like the little ball.
Cheers.
Cheers. It's pretty good. It's light. It's light. It tastes like if you took a Sprite and melted a strawberry candy in the bottom.
Wow.
That's
so
a
crazy.
slight hint of strawberry.
I was gonna say mine tasted like Sprite, like an ocean water.
Hell yeah,
from
brother.
Sonic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like an ocean water.
Mm-hmm. You're right.
Okay.
They're gonna smell like lobsters. Tastes like a barbecue lay to me.
But the initial taste is weird. Like fishy.
It's sweet. Really? I got sweet flavor off of it. Am I crazy?
Do another one. It is sweet.
Can you reach it?
The initial, like if you put your tongue, seafood.
It smells like seafood. The only reason I'm like tasting the seafood is because I can smell it on my lips from this. But it tastes sweet to me.
Rate it.
Out of 10 or 5?
10.
I give it a 6.
I think it will probably be one of those snacks that the more you eat it, the better it gets.
Yeah, I like the consistency. The flavor's pretty good. It would make your breath stinky.
Yeah. What is your rating, Matt?
6.3.
6.3?
Okay.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Oh,
6
okay.
7.
666 across the scale, guys.
Well, he said 6.7 or 5 or whatever.
666 across the scale. Cheers to that.
Okay. Now, do we want matcha next or brown sugar?
Matcha.
Matcha?
Mm-hmm.
I'm so excited.
Matt, did you like your drink?
Oh yeah, what's your drink rating?
6.8.
6.8. Kai?
I'm giving it a 5.
A 5.
I wouldn't drink this again,
Yeah.
but it is a good flavor.
Yeah, it's like not bad, but would I really crave it again? Probably
No.
not.
Mm-mm.
I would say maybe
I love the bottle.
4.
It's super cute.
Tastes like matcha.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Consistency is creamy and light
Mm-hmm.
in flavor. I wish it was soft.
What is your rating?
3. It's good. It has not enough flavor, and it is too hard for me.
Wow, something too hard. Interesting. Matt. A 2. I would say it's a solid 8 or 9 for me.
Well, those are some discrepancies.
Yeah. Well, I am just a matcha slut right
Does
now.
this taste
so-
like matcha to you?
Mhm.
Like enough to say it's matcha flavor?
Mhm. It could be a little bit more on the matcha side versus the milk side. I think it's more milky
It's
than
milky
matcha-y.
as fuck.
But I can taste the matcha for sure.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Next, we have brown sugar and rich milk.
This one is cute. Already it has a little dog on it. Ew, I got hair in my mouth. It's got a little dog on it, and he's like a centipede dog, and he's like a cake dog, a cake centipede dog, right?
Cake?
Doesn't he look like cake?
That's a pear.
What are you looking at?
Let me see yours. Oh, mine's different. Mine has pears.
Oh, mine's a cake dog.
I was like, cake? Yeah, mine's pear. What's yours?
Cake dog.
Oh, yeah, mine's a pear.
He's cake.
No.
These ones are square.
Oh, I got cake dog.
Okay.
Again.
Square. And then like stripes.
Like a zebra.
Yeah. Like
Are these hard too? They
Yeah.
feel hard.
There's
I thought
hard-
it was going to be more of a gummy.
It's a big candy to be square like that. Because like rotating in your mouth is really weird. My mouth is small, so having like a candy like this, too big.
You know those like butterscotch candies? This is kind of what it's giving to
Mhm.
me.
What's your rating?
Wait, you said 7? I would say maybe 4. I like it. Like, I like the flavor, but it's a little too sweet for me.
Too sweet.
Mm-hmm. I'm not a sweet girly anymore. Like savory.
I'm giving it 3. I don't
3?
like the way it's shaped at all.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Big old cube.
Oh. Okay. Being able to crunch into it was kind of nice. It just all fell and crumbled and felt really good.
Does that change your rating at all?
Mm-hmm. I think I'll give it a 6. Yeah, I liked that at the end. Not worth it to get to that point. Well, no, it was. I take it back. Was worth it to get to that point. So overall, exactly. And you don't want to like rotate it around in your mouth. You just want to like keep it there. It's like a little prize.
It's funny that ours was swapped with those 2 candies.
Mm-hmm.
You guys didn't like the other one, and I did. And I didn't like this one, and you guys liked this one.
Peculiar. Me and Matt are on the same wavelength today.
I'm like trying to find some like Japanese candies that I like before we go to Japan. You know?
Yeah.
So I'm like, ooh, I can eat that, and I know what it is, and it's good. But so far, I'm like,
You don't like a lot of them? Because why?
I don't know. They're just weird flavor.
Just weird.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like in this box, oh, you have to try it, even though it's disgusting. It's a strawberry shortcake Kit Kat bar.
Okay, and it's gross.
It's way too sweet.
Oh.
It's like so sweet.
So street.
Yeah, okay, word. We'll try it.
Yeah.
All right, anyway.
All right, thank you for bringing those treats. They were perfect for my little high brain. All right, are we ready to start this case? All right. Our story starts out on December 20th, 1974, in Whitehaven, Pennsylvania. There's a stretch of Interstate 80 that acts as like a bridge over the Lay River. And the Lay River is 109 miles long. It flows like southwards from the Pinocchio Mountains to the northeastern Pennsylvania, through Allentown, and then much of the Lay Valley before joining actually the Delaware River. So it's like a big ass river. But this part of the Lay River that we're talking about is designated as a scenic river by the state's Department of Conservation and Natural Resources. So it's fucking gorgeous. So the Lay River flows in a very winding course through the valleys between ridges of the Appalachian Mountains and is known for whitewater rafting, kayaking, and canoeing. So just like any other beautiful swimming spots, teenagers normally flock to this stretch of river to enjoy the water and, you know, just anything that you can do. Find stones and skip rocks and
just hang out.
Have a picnic or whatever. This cold and rainy day, December 20th, was apparently no different. A teenager made his way down to the bottom of the riverbank that day. Although it seemed too cold to enjoy time on the water, 14-year-old Kenneth Jumper was checking if his traps had caught anything that day. 300 feet is where the bank lies in relation to the highway, so it's a pretty steep incline down. As he's making his way, he is now just 20 feet from the bank. There's a patch of the forest and what looks to be suitcases?
Oh, that's not good.
As he makes his way closer, he confirms that yes, he does indeed see that there are 3 suitcases. But why? And as he gets closer, he realizes there's something coming out of the zipper also.
Ew.
Is that a body? Is what I would say. Like, what the fuck? And I'm sure he was thinking the same thing. Yup. He found 3 suitcases, all slightly open with various body parts hanging out of the suitcases.
And you said he's 14?
14.
Oof, what a horrible sight for that kid.
Right. And like he's checking traps, so he's looking for bodies, but not those kind of bodies. Yeah. Sorry. The suitcases looked like they had been thrown from the highway, so they fell that 300 feet down. So I think that's why they probably broke open. In the cases, they found straw and packing foam, as well as a bedspread that was like super waterlogged from just being out in the elements. And this had fragments of newspaper that had been used to wrap the body parts in. The newspaper was later determined to have been from the New York Sunday from September 26th of 1976 and was linked to the northern New Jersey area. The bedspread was reddish orange in color with yellow and pink embroidered flowers, and it was made out of like a wool-like fabric. So I'm sure that held a lot of water and other shit in it. It was obvious that someone had killed and dismembered the body parts and scattered them between 3 suitcases. And they weren't just dealing with one body, but they quickly found out they were dealing with 2. Along with the body parts of an unknown female, they discovered the body of Beth Doe, which is who they're calling this body, and her unborn child. Their final resting place was together cramped in a suitcase thrown off the highway like trash. Investigators worked carefully to remove both bodies to start the autopsy and identification process. So the body was removed by authorities and transported in plastic bags to the nearby Gardain Hospital for examination. After a 3-hour autopsy on December 23, 1976, it was determined that she was a woman in her late teens to early 20s. Her identity, however, could not be determined. Her cause of death was determined to be strangulation, on top of having been shot in the neck.
Oof.
Her body was then dismembered with a serrated blade, and the gunshot was discovered to actually have taken place post-mortem, so after she had been deceased.
Interesting.
Right. Like, what in the fuck was the point of that?
Yeah.
Except overkill, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? On top of that, her nose, breasts, and ears had all been removed, and they had never been found.
Ew.
Big U.
Like, it's like people, like, you know how there's like some serial killers and like killers that like take things as trophies? Like Jeffrey.
Jeffrey.
Um,
Jiffy Dahmer.
Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah.
Nasty.
Oh, there's some gross motherfuckers out there.
Yeah.
The dismemberment was described to be unlike that of a surgeon, so it wasn't like super precise and clean, but it was not haphazard. So it wasn't like someone was just in a hurry or didn't know what they were doing. So someone who had somewhat skill, which is
Or that has done something like this before.
something of the sort. Maybe a hunter. Something like that, you know?
Yeah.
Beth Doe was between 4 feet 11 inches and 5 foot 4 inches tall. The discrepancy is because of the dismemberment. You're not really sure, you know? She had some distinctive markers on her body. There was a 2-inch and a 6-inch scar that was visible above her heel of her foot. So she had 2 scars there. And she had 2 moles on her face, one above her left eye and the other one was on her left cheek. And they said that it may have developed during pregnancy, which I thought was interesting that they added that. Because I didn't know that was like a pregnancy thing.
Me either. And how can you determine that?
That's what I wouldn't. I didn't like look into it further to like try and figure it out, but I was like, wonder why.
Yeah.
That was thought.
That's interesting.
I know. The medical examiner noted that a set of numbers had been written on the victim's body. The ink believed to have been from a pen and was on the left palm of the victim's hand, indicating that either she was right-handed, if she wrote it herself, or they just wrote it on her hand. The writing was the letters WSR and the number 4 or 5, depending on who's looking at it, followed by the number 4 or 7. And they couldn't figure out what set of numbers it was, but the victim was fingerprinted. Her teeth were examined and recorded on a dental chart. Her fingerprints were submitted to the FBI, but they did not come up with any matches on her fingerprints in the national database. Investigators compared missing persons reports throughout the United States and Canada to the victim, but came up with nothing. Her body was buried in 1983, which is quite a few years after being discovered.
Why so?
They were just hoping that they could identify her, contact family, and allow the family to have a proper burial. So that happens a lot with like Jane Doe cases or John Doe cases. They're calling her Beth Doe in this case, but A lot of times they just want to wait around so that hopefully she will get
Yeah.
the right kind of funeral that she deserves. But if they do not become identified, then they just bury her in what they call like a pauper's grave. That's just like usually an unmarked grave.
Yeah.
But she was buried with her baby. So, yeah, in 1983 is when they were both buried. That's where her body would rest until 2007. Her remains were exhumed to obtain additional forensic evidence and to create a new facial reconstruction. Because they already had like a couple pictures, but obviously either the people that were looking for her didn't recognize her, it wasn't exactly on, so it wasn't really doing what it should, so they redid it. The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children released 2 reconstructions, and that was in May of 2015. They weren't able to identify Beth Doe, but they were able to exclude 12 missing women from the possibility that it was her. So that does help with getting closer to identifying her, even though it hasn't quite happened yet.
Yeah.
In 2020, a piece of the girl's femur was submitted to a lab in Texas, where a DNA profile was obtained and a possible link to a family member was found.
Oh.
Yeah. Police say Louis Colin Jr. was contacted by investigators and confirmed that his aunt had gone missing in the 1970s. His father ended up positively confirming her description through photos, and he confirmed that it was his sister. So she was identified as Evelyn Colin, and she was the body found on December 20th of 1976. He then recalled to investigators that the father of the unborn child was a different Louis Sarah, Evelyn's then boyfriend, and then the last known person to actually see Evelyn alive. At the time of her murder, Evelyn was dating Louis, and he was the father of her child. Due to her pregnancy, Evelyn's parents recently let her move in with him in his apartment, and he was their next door neighbor for a little while, and then they moved into a different apartment by themselves to get some space and privacy. Unfortunately, early on, Louis had been abusive and jealous, going as far as locking Evelyn in their apartment. One day, Evelyn contacted her mother saying that she was not feeling well and asking her to bring her some soup. But when her mom arrived at the apartment, nobody was there. The New Jersey City apartment that Evelyn and Louis shared had been completely cleared out.
What?
Right, which is so crazy because she was like, hey, I'm not really feeling good. Can you bring me some soup? And then
Unless
nothing.
it wasn't her.
Right. Isn't that weird?
That is weird.
Yeah. Neighbors told Evelyn's mom that she had moved away.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah. So not knowing how to get a hold of her daughter, Evelyn's mom had to wait for her to hopefully contact the family on her whereabouts. So in January of 1977, the family received a letter. It was written in Spanish with no legible return address from, apparently, Louis. It was stamped from Connecticut, telling them Evelyn had given birth to a boy and not to worry because she would contact them if she needed anything.
Mm-hmm. Red flag. Fishy.
Yeah.
Don't like.
Yeah. So Evelyn's family at first did not report her missing, but they, I guess, bought the story that they thought she was safe with Louis. They thought she was safe with her boyfriend and didn't think anything of it, you know. And she was like old enough to make her own decisions, so like if she's safe, she's safe. So
Yeah.
besides the little bit of red flags he had, they didn't really have any other reason to think anything had happened. After a few years of no contact, they did attempt to report her disappearance, but due to the letter, the police refused to file a report. By the time Evelyn was identified, her parents both had died, unfortunately. After positively identifying the victim and interviewing the family, police say they turned investigation towards Louise Serra. Louise was found to be living in Ozone Park, New York. Police say he had initially denied knowing Evelyn, but later admitted that he not only knew her but dated her and that she was going to have his child at some point. He then reportedly told investigators that he last saw Evelyn in their apartment in New Jersey prior to leaving for work, and that when he returned home, she was gone. However, police say that he could not explain why he made little to no effort to get in contact with Evelyn and the child at that after she disappeared, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that all makes sense,
Yeah.
Louise.
right, like what the fuck? Nobody really, like, nobody was like, huh, this is weird.
Yeah, no, if someone gets up and leaves, you would think you would at least try to contact them or, like,
Yeah,
something, especially if she has your child.
right. Nor could he explain the letter that was written to the family. And that letter was actually written after Evelyn's death. So
Yeah.
he couldn't have said that she had a baby boy and he was fine. I'm pretty sure she had a baby girl. She was unborn at the time, but pretty sure it was a baby girl, not a baby boy. So I don't think he even cared to, like, check, really, you know? The New York Police Department arrested 67-year-old Luis Sierra and charged him with the 1976 murder of Evelyn and her baby. Police believed that they had finally solved this horrific case. But wouldn't you know, the United States judicial system strikes again.
I was gonna say, well, I obviously know this is, like, unsolved cases, but I was gonna say,
Yeah.
how did they, like, sentence him with, like, little to no evidence, but there's, like, people who actually have evidence that aren't booked, like OJ Simpson case.
Was like the same fucking shit. Just run it again. The charges against Louise were dropped due to the jurisdiction issue. He was arrested in New York for the murder that took place in New Jersey. And because of his charges, because of this, they were dropped. The charges were completely dropped.
So can, like, someone not get arrested in a completely different state than what happened? So
Sometimes they can get off on the fucking technicality. So I know the answer to my next question, but I'm going to ask it anyways for tradition purposes. What are your thoughts on the case?
I hate
I
it. I'm pissed.
know. I know he's old, but he should have gotten charged.
It's just so unfortunate. Like, you don't have evidence, but it's, like, pretty, like, obvious.
Yeah, and I'm sure they have more evidence that they couldn't, like, release because he wasn't charged with it. But I'm sure they have what they need to get him.
Well, I'm glad they at least, like, figured out who it was, so she can get, like, some kind of justice or whatever, and, like, a headstone, and, like, the family has peace and, like, understanding of what kind of happened.
Yeah. It's a sad
But
one.
it's still sad.
I know.
What are your thoughts?
I think it's a high probability that he was the one that committed these murders. But of course, I'm not sure. We can't be sure because he was let off on a technicality, so we'll never know. Any other thoughts on the case? No. Thank you for the snacks again. Oh, we didn't. It's okay.
Oh, the other ones?
Yeah, we blasted through it, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for the snacks.
One last clink. Clink.
The ball got stuck.
It's kind of hard to, like, because of the opening, you know. It's kind of hard to take multiple, like, gulps of it. You know, you can't really take multiple gulps.
You just have to, like,
Yeah,
you have to hold it at, like, an angle like this.
like a hamster.
Just like a hamster, guys. Exactly.
Never
It
mind.
worked.
Don't do it. No, it didn't. It's all over me now.
I guess then this is the end. Until next time, say hi.
Stay safe.
And thank you for watching.
Yeehaw.
Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the episode, please like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you know when the next episode drops. Follow Stone Cold Murder and the host's socials. The link will be in the description below. And until next time, stay high, stay safe, and thanks for watching.